So you're living a good life. You don't have a ton to complain about, and you're content overall. And yet you're just looking for an extra dose of happiness, like a little bit more fulfillment. And I love when people come to me and ask, Andrew, how can I be even more happy? How can I find an even greater level of joy? And what I'm going to share with you is not groundbreaking. It's been said before, and maybe you just need to hear it again today. It starts with gratitude. In my book, Strength of the Oak, Strength of the Willow, I share a very simple process for us to ground ourselves in gratitude, to find a little bit more of what we want, which is that happiness and that joy. And it's powerful that we always end up finding what we are looking for. And here is a simple practice. I'd like to read a little bit of what I wrote in my book about gratitude. Let's explore the miracle of the sun for just a moment. Earth travels in an elliptical, not completely circular path around the sun. This means that the distance between the Earth and the sun changes throughout the year. Did you know the sun is 91.4 million miles away from us at its closest point and 94.5 million miles away at its farthest? In 8 minutes, traveling at 186,000 miles per second, light arrives from the sun to our home that we call Earth. Upon arrival, this light energy, carried across the immensity of space, touches all living things. For plants, this sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll and begins the process we know as photosynthesis. Next, water absorbed from the ground, along with carbon dioxide taken in from the air, are changed into oxygen, which is released for our livelihood. We, like plants, also have the divinely creative ability to take in everything around us and use it for an inside-out kind of self-transformation. We can be as resourceful as plants if we adopt the following mindset. Life events are not happening to us. They are happening for us. I witnessed this in a rather sobering conversation with a client I've grown to respect and adore. We'll call her Ashley. Ashley stepped in big time as her mom, her dad, and sister had been working tirelessly through the challenges of their adult brother and son's journey with ALS. It had been over a year and a half since the diagnosis. Travis was now bedridden and 100% dependent upon others for his care. Watching her parents' physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion, Ashley and her sister began taking shifts to relieve mom and dad. She eventually helped pay for a nurse to further aid in the daily duties of ensuring her brother was as comfortable and as well taken care of as possible. I asked her, Ashley, you guys have been through so much. Why do you believe this is happening for you and your family right now? She replied, well, the other day I received a text from Travis. He can no longer communicate verbally. He's lost all motor skills and now uses an on-screen keyboard that allows him to type by selecting letters with his eyes. His message said, it's literally harder to stay alive now. Everything is tougher to do. Everything. In response, she says, I actually thanked him for this whole experience, and I shared my love for him. I told him that he's the strongest person I know. I told him how much I'd learned and how blessed we as a family had been since all of this happened. As I explained to him, Andrew, we've seen miracles, she said, as extended family feuds have been set aside and long-lost relationships have been restored. Our faith in God has increased exponentially. We are closer and have sacrificed in a way that has strengthened our love like never before. He replied to her tender words with, thank you, Ashley. I'm literally trying not to cry. I love you too. Man, her story tugged at my heartstrings, and as I listened in awe and watched her hardships being transformed into gratitude, healing was happening for her and her family in unexpected and previously unthinkable ways. And her brother was able to witness what could have easily been seen as an unbearable burden become a beacon of hope for all around him. This illness had miraculously turned from a destructive disease happening to us to a sanctifying experience happening for us. I honor and admire Ashley, her family, along with any and all who endure challenges of this nature. It's beyond humbling to observe the breakdowns and breakthroughs that accompany these life-altering experiences. Melody Beatty, best-selling self-help author, taught, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Gratitude makes things right. Gratitude turns negative energy into positive energy. There's no situation or circumstance so small or large that it's not susceptible to gratitude's power." Man, these kinds of stories like Ashley's amaze me. And there's a science behind it. When we begin looking for the things that are happening for us to strengthen us, to build us up, to create the kind of character that we need to lead in our world today, there are actually new neural pathways that form in your brain, new chemicals that are secreted in the form of dopamine and oxytocin and other important hormones that help us to literally be happier. Now, no one makes it through this life unscathed. That is one thing I know. I also know everyone's gonna die. So we're all gonna die in this life, and no one makes it out unscathed. And if we can do as Ashley and her brother Travis and her family did, if we can find the good, the great in every moment, then we can transform it. We can turn it into something life-giving, just like plants do with the sun, that photosynthesis experience. Now, being grateful in and of itself is a wonderful attribute. And as I began developing this habit of gratitude for myself, it's been 10 years now that I've been writing out daily gratitudes, I began challenging others to do it as well. And I actually created what I call the Oak and Willow Gratitude Journal. And it's a daily practice of grounding for courage and compassion. And I invite you to get the gratitude journal for yourself. It makes a great gift and a companion to my book. And you can begin this daily process. And I'm going to share with you what I call the 4 steps of applied gratitude. And we're going to do it using this analogy of water. Being grateful in and of itself is a good place to start, right? And so is being on the top of the water. Whether it's an ocean, whether it's a lake, whether it's a river, water is powerful and it's beautiful. And people that are grateful are kind of like skimming across the top of the water. And what I invite you to do for the next 60 days using my journal is to begin writing out 5 different things that you're grateful for every single day. That in and of itself is a great place to start. The next thing I'm going to invite you to do is to stick your face down in the water, kind of like you got a snorkel on, and see what's down there, going a little bit deeper. And the way that we do this with gratitude is just writing why you're grateful for the thing or the person or the situation that you wrote about. So for example, this morning, as I was writing in my journal, I wrote, "I am grateful for little Tanner." Tanner, at the time of this recording, is 16, 17 months old. He's my son, my 7th child. And why? I wrote down, he makes me smile and laugh every day. Now, being grateful for Tanner is wonderful. But then going a little bit deeper and writing why you're grateful for that person or that thing again or that situation helps us to deepen our gratitude. And that's what I call snorkeling, just sticking your face in the water and seeing what's down there. The third step of gratitude, to go even deeper and ground ourselves even more, is to share that gratitude with someone. And I can tell Tanner that I'm grateful for him, or I could maybe tell his mom that I'm grateful for him because she brought him into this world. When we share our gratitude for someone with that person, or the person that gave us that person in my case, or maybe it's I'm grateful for this awesome suit coat and I'm going to give gratitude for the person that bought it for me, which would be my wife again. It helps us to connect with that person. And also it brings joy back to them, because if they gave you the thing that you're grateful for, they felt joy in the giving process, and as you return that gratitude when they weren't expecting it, they get to feel that joy again. And so you are doubling that gratitude, and it becomes exponential in its capacity to provide joy and to make not only yourself but the other person happy as well. So that third step of sharing what you're grateful for with someone is kind of like taking off that mask and going a little bit deeper in the water. Like we are now snorkeling, but we're holding our breath and we're swimming down and seeing how far we can get and what we can see. Now the last step is the fourth of the 4 steps of applied gratitude. And this is what I call scuba style. This is going even deeper, bringing the scuba gear and the oxygen tank so that you can explore even deeper and further. So let's review. Number 1, what am I grateful for? Number 2, why am I grateful for that thing or that person? Number 3, sharing what it is that you're grateful for with that person that you're grateful for, or the person that connected you with that person or gave you that thing. And then the last step is offering a very simple and sweet prayer of thanks, or you can meditate and give that gratitude back to the one, to God, to the universe, to your creator, for that experience, for that person, connecting you in a divine way with the creator of all things. That takes gratitude from a mere surface level to a deep place of grounding and connection, to a spiritual practice. And the way that I do this is every morning as I wake up, I think about my gratitudes, literally lying in bed. And as I go to sleep at night, I remember what I'm grateful for from that day. And then as I wake up, I do my journaling. I write down those 5 things, and I share at least one, maybe not all 5, at least one with one person. So I'm connecting with God in gratitude as I fall asleep and as I wake up each day, and I'm sharing one of those gratitudes with someone. And I'm keeping a record of it. 10 years in the making now. This practice has transformed me from someone who, at one point in my life, maybe had more of a victim mentality, who often questioned, why, God, why are you doing this to me? I now automatically ask, why is this happening for me? What is there to learn? And just like a tree, in turbulent times, I know that the wind and the rain, that everything that's going on around me is building stresswood, as we call it with trees. It's building a strength that couldn't be there unless we were going through challenging, trying, and strengthening times. Gratitude is a way for you to plug in and build that strength and find the good and share it with others, and ultimately to connect you with your creator. So if you're looking for just a little bit more joy, a little bit more happiness, if life is good but you want it to be exceptional, it's crazy what happens when you activate this part of your brain called your RAS, R-A-S, your reticular activating system, and you tell it to start finding things to be grateful for. And if you want a little bonus, I invite you to just start asking people, like literally at the beginning of a conversation, what are you grateful for today? Instead of, how are you? That's boring, honestly. When you say, how are you? Everyone says, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm good. But when you say, what are you grateful for? They have to stop. They have to think. And you're teaching them to be grateful like you are. So, again, I'm going to put the link for this gratitude journal in the description below for the notes on this podcast if you're listening, or this YouTube video if you're watching. And I invite you to get one for yourself. And if a book is worth buying, it's worth buying two. Get one to give to someone as well. It's such a beautiful gift to give gratitude. And I want to give my gratitude to you. I know that as you take time out of your day and you invest in yourself and you learn about how to strengthen your life mission and bless others along the way, it's the greatest investment that you can give to you. And if you want to go a little bit deeper and talk more, I'm happy to spend time with you. Reach out. I believe in you.